Hi everybody, I'm Katye Anna, and I describe myself as a teacher of soul. And for over, 65 now, so for over 25 years I've been teaching about the soul and chakras and just basically love. And so today I was asked to speak about, what is it again, Lloyd?
Living from the heart.
Living from the heart. So I share a steady stream of consciousness with a group of 976 plus souls, known to me as Anna. And they've been a part of my consciousness for at least 18 years that I'm aware of. But I always knew them as just part of my higher self. And I've been a dreamer consciously for about 20 years now, which means I go out in dreamland, and when I wake up, I have the information. All my books are written when I wake up. My classes are all written right after I wake up. And about 5 months ago, I woke up, and they said, have a retreat, living from the heart, the way of the heart, and have it in Sedona, Arizona. I don't know about any of you, but when the world spirit speaks to me, I listen. How many of you are aware that you get messages from something outside of yourself? Intuition. We call it intuition. You know, from the world of soul, from spirit. You know, and for me, I have learned through the years that when I listen to these messages, man, life takes on a whole new meaning. So, I have a couple questions before I introduce Anna. I have a couple questions for those of you who are here. And those of you who are listening on Facebook. How many of you have had someone you love birth into spirit? Put your hand up. Birth into spirit means physically die. You know somebody that you love has physically died. So, everybody here. Okay. How many of you have ever been angry with somebody? Yeah? How many of you have experienced sadness? Everybody? Disappointment? How many of you have experienced heartache? Okay. And how many of you have been told that when you were born and you grew up knowing that you were an incarnated soul? None of you. How many of you were told that you have the creative spark of God within you? You know that? Did you know that growing up? Wonderful. Okay. So, did you know growing up that you created your world?
In what sense?
That everything that's happening to you, everything that's in your nice little box of experiences, you have invited in one way or another. Okay? How about over here? Do you believe that you have created your world and that everything you're experiencing, you have invited in? Anybody? You believe?
I do now.
Say what?
I do now.
You do now, but you
I
didn't.
wasn't raised
You didn't
that
as
way.
you and me too. I had what they call well, it was a nervous breakdown when I was 38 years old, but I now know it was a soul realignment, and a soul realignment comes to us when our lives kind of are going into pathways that are so far out from the plan of the soul that we're not going to bring in the work that the soul came here to do. And I was born to be a teacher soul. I don't have any doubt of that. And my work is all about helping my students and anyone who will listen to me remember that love is the way. Now, through our lives, there's questions I asked you earlier. That sadness, that disappointment, that heartache begins to literally chip away at our hearts. And we begin to close down. We begin to close down and close off parts of ourselves, thinking we're protecting ourselves from sadness. After my husband, Alan, died 2 years and about 5 months ago, people would say to me, oh, you may never get over this because you two loved each other so deeply. God, that drove me crazy. Because loving someone has very little to do with how you grieve. loving someone has very little to do with how you grieve. But all these fragmented parts of our hearts that we've experienced throughout life has a lot to do with how you deal, how you go on with life after someone you've loved, whether it's a child or a parent, whoever it is, bursts into spirit. And so these fragmented parts of ourselves, what do you think happens to that sadness, grief, disappointment, despair, heartache as you go through your life? What did you do with it?
Buried it.
Buried it? Stuffed it? Stuffed it? So what kind of effect do you think that has on your life? Yeah, we're walking around fragmented human beings. You know, I keep teaching my students that our responsibility, our job, is to ground more of our soul onto this planet. And a lot of the crap that's going on in this planet, and I mean the whole planet, is because we're not aligning ourselves with love.